If aliens were to arrive on our planet, try to imagine explaining the concept of sleep to them.
So here's the deal. For 1/3 of our lives, we lie down and shut down all major systems, okay? But we will occasionally dream about things like showing up for class, dressed only in our underwear.
They'd look at us and say, "That's alien for, you gotta be me." Then they turn to their fellow aliens and say, translated, that would be, "These guys will be easier to conquer than we ever thought." Why we sleep is one of those things that humans have always wondered about. Put simply, it's a chance for our brains to reboot. And if we didn't reboot, eventually our brains would lock up. Just like that time your computer froze as you were about to finish that long written presentation and realized you hadn't saved your work for over an hour. Now, the reason we bring all this up is to let you know that we are fully rested, raring to go, and ready to answer more of the questions you've always wondered about. And we hope you're ready too. So rub the sleep out of your eyes and let's do this. The only thing left to say now is, yeah, that would be alien for, welcome to the podcast.
It's the Always Wondered podcast.
Hi, I'm Rick Peterson. Thanks for joining us. Shortly after man began walking the face of the earth, humankind faced its greatest challenge: sitting. Sure, a comfortable rock or a cushy log was fine, but something was missing. So early man asked, what if I could sit, but be more horizontal? It was a dream that was a long time in the making. So have you always wondered the origin of the recliner? We'll sit back, relax, and we'll tell you the tale. Back in medieval times, even kings didn't recline. Their thrones were upright, rigid, designed primarily to say,
I rule this kingdom, and my lower back will never let me forget it.
Centuries passed and not much changed. But the big leap forward, or lean backward as it were, came in the 1920s. In Michigan, self-taught engineer Edwin Shoemaker, along with his cousin, looked at those upright chairs and said,
Nah.
And so humanity began its great descent into comfort, bliss, and full-blown reclining hibernation. The first prototype was essentially a less than desirable wooden porch chair, but a department store buyer told Shoemaker if you could make this thing suitable for indoor use, you might be onto something. So Shoemaker did, and after a few tweaks, some upholstery, and plenty of padding, he had created more than just a chair. He had invented horizontal laziness. A contest was then held to come up with a proper name. The winning entry? Lazy Boy. And the recliner was off and running. Or actually sitting back and doing nothing. In the 1940s, Shoemaker upped his game by adding a retractable footrest, and in the 50s, with the advent of television, the recliner and watching TV seemed like a match made in heaven. Today, the recliner has evolved. Massage features, USB ports, cup holders, and enough buttons to launch a space shuttle. And recliners are big business too, with sales in the neighborhood of $4 billion a year. That's a lot of money in pursuit of doing very little. As for Shoemaker, he's been called the father of motion furniture. He remained active in his company for the rest of his life, lived to the ripe old age of 90, and died, you guessed it, relaxing in a recliner. So we raise our reclined legs in a salute to Edwin Shoemaker, a visionary who understood humanity's true calling, to work just hard enough to earn the right to never move again.
The Always Wondered podcast.
You've heard it 1,000 times, at office parties, family dinners, and that one awkward moment at the restaurant when 6 waiters appeared at your table, clapping with lukewarm enthusiasm as you prayed for the ground to open up and swallow you. Of course, we're talking about the Happy Birthday song.
Happy birthday!
It's the musical equivalent of a group text. Everyone's involved, and half the people resent it. But have you always wondered where the Happy Birthday song came from? Well, get ready to sing off-key as we relate the story of this strange global anthem. Our tale begins in the late 1800s, when 2 sisters, Mildred and Patty Hill, worked at a kindergarten in Louisville, Kentucky. Like all teachers, they were overworked, underpaid, and probably exhausted by toddlers who ate paste.
Yummy!
They needed a simple, friendly song for the kids to sing in the morning, so they came up with Good Morning to All. It's the melody we know, but with different lyrics.
Good morning to you. Good morning to you. Good morning, dear children. Good morning to all.
I'm telling you, in the 1800s in the kindergarten world, that would be considered a real banger. The song was published in songbooks, and eventually the lyrics were changed to the Happy Birthday song, kind of like a bootleg remix. And the song gained great popularity when it appeared in a 1933 Broadway musical. So 2 years later, Jessica Hill, the third Hill sister, copyrighted the song. But of course, Patty and Mildred never wrote the birthday version, so it became kind of messy. Various other companies claimed it was theirs, and one company demanded royalties every time the song was played, either in public or in the media, up to $2,000 per performance. As a result, we got weird off-brand versions like,
I don't know what I've been told.
Someone here is getting old.
But in 2016, a court ruled that the song was indeed public domain. Humanity rejoiced, TV and movie directors stopped crying, restaurant waiters were freed from tyranny, and now you too can sing the real version in public without fear of being sued. The song remains a uniquely awkward experience that the birthday person has to endure, being serenaded while staring at a cake on fire. But despite all that, it's a 130-year-old tradition that we all share, even if we sing in the wrong key.
Happy birthday to you.
It's the Always Wondered podcast.
You need a favor from a friend. But before blurting it out, you first flatter the person and say something like,
Have you lost weight? You look fantastic.
and then you lower the boom.
By the way, can you drive me to the airport tomorrow?
You have buttered someone up. Saying nice things to the person you need something from. It's basically flattery with an agenda. But have you always wondered where the phrase butter someone up came from? Well, let's spread the word. Kind of like a slab of room temperature butter on a warm piece of toast.
The flavor says butter.
For this story, we turn to ancient India, where people would actually toss balls of butter at statues of the gods, asking them for favors and good fortune. Yeah, you heard that right. They threw butter balls at statues. Now imagine being a deity, minding your own business when suddenly someone hurls blobs of dairy at your face. But this went on for ages, so apparently the gods were into it, and they didn't need to worry about high cholesterol. I mean, they're gods after all, right? So it's very possible that from this long-held buttery ritual, the phrase emerged, butter equals favor. I admit this one is pretty bizarre, so if you have any other thoughts, feel free to let us know and butter us up. But do us a favor and keep the actual butter in the kitchen, okay?
The Always Wondered podcast.
Well, that's going to do it for this episode. Remember, new episodes release each and every Friday, and we encourage you to click follow or subscribe so you'll be alerted every time a new episode drops, and we appreciate all the support. As always, we leave you with one to ponder. Have you always wondered, is cereal really just cold, crunchy soup? That's one to discuss with your friends, but be warned it could get violent. And let's not get started on, is a Pop-Tart just breakfast ravioli? Until next time, I'm Rick Peterson. Thanks for listening.
The Always Wondered podcast. If you like what you hear, please subscribe, leave a 5-star rating, and a review. Listen on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you pod. Feel free to offer suggestions for future topics or simply reach out to alwayswonderedpodcast@gmail.com.